Our hop one across the U.S. had us pointed west and heading towards the world's first national park, Yellowstone. We would be spending 8 days at the park and would be breaking it up between the north and west entrances. Our first would be the north, where we'd be staying in Gardner, Montana. All we had in front of us was a 500-mile drive, a lot of dirt, cow manure, and cottonwood tree sap covering Max and Dutch from our time in Medora. Hinton hint, don't park under cottonwood trees and then drive on the dirt roads and cattle country. It's a bad mix.
Our truck is so filthy, and our trailer is pretty gross too. And then this park next to us, it's kind of spotless. Look at their truck compared to ours. Look at the glitter. The cottonwoods really got to us. Makes you feel dirty.
Unable to take the filth on Max and Dutch any longer, we decided to stop in Billings. We spent over an hour washing both rigs, but it was a stress reliever to not be covered in manure and sap.
Look at that. What a view. It's almost too shiny.
The mountains, rivers, and amazing skyline made the last leg of our drive to Gardner one to remember. When we finally arrived, we headed straight to our RV park, Rocky Mountain RV Park. At $62 a night, it was quite expensive, but it turned out to be our favorite campground. Check out our episode 8 and you'll know why.
We just got into Gardner, Montana, and what is it? The Rocky Mountain RV campground? We have campsite number 1, and look at this view.
The north entrance of Yellowstone is less than a mile from the Rocky Mountain RV campground, so we had a short drive to the gate. Entry fees to the park for 2020 are $25 per car, but we had a lifetime pass and we highly recommend you get one. Again, check out episode 8 and you'll learn more. Our plan was to head to Mammoth Hot Springs and we'd hope to see some wildlife on the way. Unfortunately, we didn't get into the park until almost noon, and that's a bad idea if you want to see any animals or even a parking spot. If you can't find parking down below, there is more at the upper terrace. The Mammoth Hot Springs area has an extensive boardwalk and trail system that connects the upper and lower terraces and provides some views to amazing geothermal sites. We left the hot springs and continued on the 18-mile road toward the Norris Geyser Basin. Yellowstone is one of the most active geothermal areas on Earth, and the Norris Geyser Basin is one of the most active areas in the park. There are over 2 miles of boardwalks and trails throughout the basin, and you'll get to see, smell, and hear the hot springs and mud pots up close.
No, just a teaser.
Is it for you?
Pretty big. Oh, I've been doing that all day.
We ended the day after the Basin area and headed back home. The next day would be earlier for us as we'd learned our lesson about animals and parking. Day 2 started early and with a visit to the Roosevelt Arch, which stands at the first major entrance to Yellowstone. Roosevelt happened to be visiting the area in 1903 and was asked to lay the cornerstone and speak at its dedication. And although it's named after him, he never saw its completion, as his visit that year was his last to Yellowstone. Once in the park, we headed east outside of the Mammoth Visitor Center and headed along the 37-mile route towards Canyon Village. We decided to take the road less traveled for part of the trip and took the Blacktail Plateau Drive. The drive is roughly 6 miles long and takes you through some beautiful terrain. We needed to stretch our legs after the bumpy ride, so we stopped at the Petrified Tree. We hit the road again, but it didn't take long for us to finally see some wildlife.
Got him.
Yep, got it.
Did you get it? Oh, yeah.
There you
A
got
little
him.
lunch.
Yeah.
So that's probably a meadow vole, which is similar to a field mouse.
The coyote feeding was cool, and luckily we got to see more wildlife in the Lamar Valley. Bison. Our next stop was at the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone at Artist Point. The views from here were unreal. We then drove back north to get a closer view of the Tower Falls, which are amazing.
We did the turnout for the upper rim of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone to go to the falls, and it's packed, just bumper to bumper. So we found a nice spot along the side of the road, and we get to walk this nice trail through a meadow.
You can't end a day in Yellowstone without seeing some type of geothermal area, so our next stop was the Mud Volcano area. This is a great stop and offers you a quick loop to see lots of different types of springs and mud pots. Oh, and it's also wicked stinky.
We're at the volcanic, where are we at? The Mud Volcano area. And Yesterday we were at the Norris Geyser Basin and we thought it was pretty stinky, but this is worse. It's a lot worse. If you're coming to Yellowstone just for some funk, this may be your place.
What a way to end our day. Our final day heading into the park from the north entrance was all about a Yellowstone land adventure. Yellowstone Park Lodge offers guided tours to suit anyone's taste, and you can find it all on their website. We chose to do Twilight on the Firehole, which leaves from the historic Old Faithful Inn. This was our first time seeing the inn, and it is impressive. The over 100-year-old inn is the largest log building in the world, and just standing in the lobby leaves you in awe. And right outside is, you guessed it, Old Faithful. The Twilight on the Firehole tour is $41 for adults and $21.50 for children. It's a 2-hour guided tour in the comfort of a historic yellow bus. We weren't blessed with great weather for the tour and had to endure rain for most of the evening, but still loved it. We were able to visit some amazing sights, and being in the park in the evening means less people. Regardless of the weather, it was a great way to explore the Firehole, Fountain Paint Pot, and Biscuit Basin areas of the park. We closed out our last day with a slow, dark, and rainy 51-mile drive back to our RV park. Join us next week for part 2 of our Yellowstone adventures. Spoiler alert, there are bears, elk butts, and yes, geysers.
Thank you for watching. We'd love to share our journey with you, so hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you know when a new video is uploaded. And don't forget to leave your comments down below and hit the like button.